Another popular animation technique on the web is to animate something called a sprite sheet. The idea behind this is that we have a large image and we animate the individual sprite inside of a container. So in the library panel, I have a file in here called applesprite.png. Let's drag that onto the stage. So as you can see here, all of the different frames of the animation are in one graphic and they're all spaced at 100 pixels apart. So what we're going to do is animate this object inside of a background element inside of Edge Animate. So with the object selected, let's first come up to the toolbar and select the clipping tool. With the clipping tool selected, let's come down into the stage. Let's grab the right side of the clip and let's drag this down until the right side of the clip is at 100 pixels. To see this, let's come over to the Properties panel, open up the clip area. I have it set to 99 down here. Let's just type in 100. Next, let's select the object on the stage. Let's come up to the Transform tool. Let's grab the registration point here, and let's just drag this to the center of this object. This way, if we do any transformations to this, it will look like we're transforming the one object and not the larger ping. Now with our clipping in place, let's come up to the toolbar. Let's grab the Selection tool. Let's come back down. Let's move the apple onto the stage. Now with the apple in position, let's come down to the Timeline panel. Let's uncheck the auto transition, but we're going to keep the auto keyframe turned on. Next, make sure the apple is selected on the stage. Come over to the Properties panel, and let's activate this keyframe here for the X and Y properties of the background image. Once I turn that on, we can see background position now shows up in the Timeline panel. Let's grab this playhead. Let's drag this out to 1/4 of a second. Let's come over to the background image in the Properties panel. Let's click on the X, and let's type in -100 and hit return. Once I enter that value, you'll see that the graphic actually changes inside of that frame. So if we come over to the Timeline panel, drag the playhead back, this is the original state, and there's the first frame we just created. So again, what's happening is that background ping that's really wide is just changing its position within that container. Let's grab the playhead and bring this out to 1/2 a second. Let's come back over to the Properties panel. We'll put in -200. Let's come out to 0.75. Enter -300. Let's come out to 1 second. -400. And then finally, at 1 1/4, -500. So now we have all of these keyframes along the timeline. There are no transitions between these keyframes, but you'll notice as we swipe back and forth, we now get those individual frames showing right over top of each other inside that element. So if I hit the spacebar and preview this, this is what our final sprite sheet animation looks like inside of Edge Animate.